What's going on, everybody? Dialerix TV back with another video, and in today's video we'll be discussing a report pertaining to Russell Westbrook. So it seems as though there is mutual interest between Russell Westbrook and the Los Angeles Lakers, trading Russell Westbrook to a potential new destination. Okay, new destination. This article is per Bleacher Report, and the headline reads, "Intel on which Lakers VIPs will remain in LA Pass this season." This article was written by Jake Fisher, and he goes on to say, "With each mountain loss in Los Angeles, the noise around the Lakers' future only grows louder. Despite LeBron James dismissing the recent furor from his public flirtation with the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Oklahoma City Thunder general manager Sam Presti, and even with Rich Paul clearing the air sit-down with Lakers owner Jeannie Buss and Vice President Rob Pelinka last week, the Lakers' struggles may ultimately have ramifications for several key Los Angeles Lakers actors. It says league's insiders remain dubious that Pelinka is truly entrenched as Los Angeles Lakers lead executive beyond the season. The same doubt extends to the future of embattled head coach Frank Vogel and Russell Westbrook." So he goes on to speak about Rob Pelinka and Rob Pelinka potentially being replaced with Omar Wilkes, who's the younger brother of Jamal Wilkes, and says that he's very close with Klutch Sports. Ironically, it goes into detail how Rob Pelinka kinda wasn't doing his job, and they basically alluded to the fact that Rob Pelinka should lose his job, and he has a bad reputation with other owners. And it says Russell Westbrook okay with a divorce. It will be on Pelinka or whomever is truly spearheading the Lakers front office to find a solution for a Russell Westbrook dynamic, who has played his own role in the Los Angeles turbulence. Who's ever to blame? There's clearly a personality disconnect between Westbrook and the coaching staff. Any suggestion for Westbrook to come off the bench would never have been entertained by the guard, sources said, and Vogel's staff never seriously broached the subject with him. In any case, there is mutual interest in finding Russell Westbrook a new home this summer, sources said. It says the Lakers trade deadline discussions with the Houston Rockets for a potential Russell Westbrook-John Wall swap didn't generate significant traction, sources said, as the Lakers were resistant to including their 2027 first-round draft pick in any deal to offload Russell Westbrook's salary. League observers have pointed to this offseason as a greater opportunity for the Lakers to shed Westbrook's contract when they will be eligible to move their 2029 first round pick. But if the Lakers weren't willing to part with one draft selection with Houston, one team strategist told Bleacher Report it would require 2 first round picks for his front office to take back Westbrook's deal. "You'll at least be able to patch something together," said another cap analyst. "It might actually be their best move and put some pieces around LeBron James." They went on to speak about reading into LeBron James' future, and basically that LeBron James is not the problem, he does no wrong, blah blah blah. So if you guys would like to read the full article, the link is in the description box. So despite what many fans may have been led to believe, Russell Westbrook hasn't been as disastrous as the sports media has sold to you, okay? And when Russell Westbrook is traded, I'm almost willing to bet the $4 in my bank account right now that the majority of fans will hop back on the Russell Westbrook bandwagon. They'll revert right back to telling me how much I don't know basketball because I stated that Russell Westbrook was overrated. Okay, everything that we're seeing transpire with Russell Westbrook right now, I've already went on record and said this is who Russell Westbrook was before he came to the Lakers, right? The Lakers, in my opinion, should allow Russell Westbrook. This was the problem. The Lakers should have allowed Russell Westbrook to be the primary ball handler and allowed Russell Westbrook to be Russell Westbrook. Let Russ be Russ. Let the Brody be the Brody. Let him be Russell Westbrook from OKC. Him and LeBron James have similar styles and they get in each other's way. Because Russ is still young and explosive, he can put pressure on teams' defenses. Let LeBron James operate more from the post. Let LeBron James average 18 to 20 points. But of course, LeBron James isn't going to do that. Why? Because he wants to get all the glory, the praise. Let Malik Monk have more minutes. Ultimately, the Lakers' issue is LeBron James. LeBron James is the problem. LeBron wanted this roster. Even with this article, the finger pointing is going towards Rob Pelinka and to Russell Westbrook. They're blaming Rob Pelinka for failing to trade Russell Westbrook for John Wall. They even highlighted how the Rockets were willing to give up some draft picks in return for the 2027 draft pick, right? And he said, well, the Lakers still have a 2029 pick. So, and they could just rely on their future. But let's be real here, okay? And let's use critical thinking. I like critical thinking because a lot of people fail to use critical thinking nowadays, okay? Let's use critical thinking for a second, you idiot. Okay, whoever wrote this article. John Wall, for the 50th time, plays identical to Russell Westbrook. They're slashers and passers. Washington got rid of him for a reason. Washington got rid of Russell Westbrook for a reason. Why would the Lakers trade for John Wall and then you be in the same position that you are in now? Then you lose the 2027 pick, then perhaps next season roll around and LeBron James will then be crying and complaining again about how the Lakers crapped out in free agency and they couldn't trade anybody. And then they have to sign all these role players, sign players in the buyout market once again. And then he's back to saying, man, F those picks. Oh, it's 2023. How about you trade the 2029 pick for Russell Westbrook? Let's bring Russ back. It didn't work at first, but it will work this time. I swear you bronzexuals are delusional. Okay, bruh. They're upset at Rob Pelinka for doing the exact same thing that Rich Paul does. They're saying that Rob Pelinka is an a-hole and he's ruined his reputation with other GMs and other owners and they don't want to work with him, blah, blah, blah. However, they said that he would basically get players to leverage there and use their power so they could force their way to another team. Newsflash, Rich Paul does the exact same thing. That's how Anthony Davis got to the Lakers. That's how Ben Simmons used mental health so he could sit out. He faked an injury so he could get to Brooklyn. Do y'all not remember that? But Rob Pelinka's the bad guy. Okay. Look at the players that he's acquiring at the buyout market this year. He's still getting talent and it's still not working. So obviously, LeBron James is the problem. So to all you dumb reporters out there, get it through your thick skulls that it's LeBron James that's making the team worse. He isn't making the players around him better. Let's retire that. He doesn't play defense. He's always complaining and crying about a foul call and doesn't run back on defense. He blames his teammates when he doesn't make the proper switches on defense. He misses shots down the stretch that cost the team games. He's not a great free throw shooter down the stretch, scared to take over the game. But all they see is LeBron James had 32 points. That's all you care about, okay? But Lakers organization, please listen to me and listen to me loud and clear. Your core fans, listen to us. The ones who's been here since day one before the bronzexuals showed up. Okay, listen to us, not the bronzexuals. Trade LeBron James this offseason. Get as many good players and picks as you can. I'm saying this with aggression. Like a doctor, we have to remove the cancer up out of that body, okay? He's almost 40 years old. He's old. He's graying. His fans claim that he can't carry a team, even though he's healthy and he's able to score 25 points plus on 25 straight nights during the spring. Okay, new record, brand new. LeBron just broke a new record. Okay, now remember what y'all did to Kobe when he got LeBron's age. Remember, y'all start to rebuild. Let me say this in a voice that y'all can understand. Y'all started to rebuild, okay? A new team, okay? No team with Russell Westbrook and LeBron James should be having a record similar to the young core. Trade LeBron James, then trade Russell Westbrook, get as many assets as possible. Trade Anthony Davis, get as many assets as possible. But anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. Y'all get in that comment box. Like, share, subscribe.